Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a really fascinating collection of source material, basically a series of everyday English conversations.
Mhm.
And our mission for you is to pull out those hidden gems, those bits of language and insight,
Right.
the ones that really show how we navigate, common life situations.
Things we all deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like holiday gift-giving stress, New Year's resolutions, the whole cycle.
And even those sudden, clothing emergencies.
Yeah, those panic moments.
That's right. And what we'll find, I think, is how even simple phrases carry these, complex social meanings.
You really do.
They show cultural nuances, maybe things we don't even think about. And often the language we use, it just reflects our priorities, our lifestyles.
So you should get ready for some aha moments, things that genuinely help you understand the currents beneath all that daily chatter.
Hopefully.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start with something I think everyone knows, that last-minute Christmas shopping panic.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Our first source drops us right into this. Someone's feeling like a bad son because, well, he hasn't bought his mom anything yet.
And he says, quite bluntly, he sucks at getting presents for people.
Yeah, and he has proof. Past failures. Like a ring 2 sizes too big.
And shoes 5 sizes too small.
Yep.
Ouch.
Right. So what's really going on here linguistically and socially?
Well, what's fascinating is how it immediately throws the social anxiety of gift giving into sharp relief.
It's not just about the object.
Not at all. It's about the thought, the effort, that expectation you're showing you care, which, raises the question, why do we struggle so much?
Finding the right gift.
Is it fear? Fear of getting it wrong? Or maybe it reflects how little time we actually feel we have for that real thoughtfulness.
And the language that pops up in these moments,
Yeah.
it's so telling. Like when someone says, slow down, you're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Right.
Obviously, they don't mean literally.
No. In that context, heart attack is just this powerful, non-literal phrase. It's a way of saying, calm down, relax.
Because you're too stressed or wound up.
Exactly. It emphasizes the intensity, like pull back before you completely melt down. It really shows the stress of that scramble.
And then there's that phrase he uses, I suck at getting presents.
Mm-hmm.
It's so informal almost, vulnerable.
It is. Suck at just means very bad at something. But its use here is interesting. It's highly colloquial, often used for self-deprecating humor.
Or genuine frustration.
Or genuine frustration, yeah. Like saying, I suck at math or I suck at parking. It's not just a statement of fact. It often invites empathy.
Right, like we've all been there.
Exactly. Builds rapport through shared struggle. That's key in these kinds of casual chats.
The conversation also touches on things being tacky. Now, that feels like a really loaded word.
Oh, absolutely. And almost entirely subjective, right?
Totally.
Tacky means unstylish, poor taste, maybe cheap looking. The source gives examples like clothes with lots of bows and glitter and shiny things.
Okay, yeah.
But it can also be about behavior, like leaving the price tag on a gift.
Oh, definitely tacky.
Or even giving cash, depending on who you ask. It really reflects unspoken rules about generosity, presentation, maybe even class.
Etiquette.
Social etiquette, exactly.
Which, kind of ironically, leads to a popular, maybe safer option.
Yeah.
The gift certificate.
That's right. The gift certificate or gift card now usually is often seen as less tacky than cash, especially if you don't know someone's size or taste. It's basically a voucher for a store. It sort of navigates that desire to give something thoughtful without the big risk of getting it,
2 sizes too big.
Or 5 sizes too small. Exactly. It acknowledges how hard it is to really know someone's preferences sometimes.
And speaking of sizes, that way of phrasing it, 2 sizes too big, 5 sizes too small, it's very specific, isn't it? Very visual.
It is. It tells you precisely how much bigger or smaller it is. But it's also great for exaggeration.
Oh, yeah.
You could say, oh, the sweater is like 10 sizes too big for me, even if it's not quite that bad, just to emphasize how badly it fits. Adds a bit of humor to the frustration.
Yeah. Relatable. Okay, another phrase that comes up is when it comes down to it.
Ah, yes. This one means something like, in reality, actually, or the truth is.
Okay.
It often introduces the core point, cutting through the fluff, like, when it comes down to it, he's a reliable colleague. It suggests, despite other things, this is the fundamental truth.
Kind of summing things up.
Summing up or getting to the heart of the matter, yeah.
And one more simple one, but we use it all the time for agreement. Tell me about it.
Oh, tell me about it. Very common, very natural. It's much stronger than just saying, I agree.
Right. It feels more like Shared experience.
Exactly. It implies I understand completely because I've probably experienced the same thing. It builds connection through shared feeling, like exasperation or relief.
So, thinking about all this, what does it mean for you, the listener, trying to navigate this gift-giving minefield?
Well, I think it shows that the language itself often reflects a deeper anxiety we all feel. And maybe the key takeaway is that thoughtfulness often wins out over guesswork or this pressure for perfection.
Like the source mentions, maybe a handmade quilt or tickets to something they'd love.
Right. Things that show real consideration might be better than, say, a generic tie. Unless, of course.
Unless it's a really cool, unique tie that's perfect for them.
Exactly. It's all about reading the person, navigating those social cues.
Okay, let's shift gears. Our sources also dive into another yearly ritual, New Year's resolutions.
Ah, yes. Hope springs eternal. Or does it?
Well, we hear that familiar cynicism, right? What's the point? We always make resolutions, and by February, forgotten. It's pointless.
That sentiment is definitely out there. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this attitude, it raises really interesting questions about modern life.
How so?
Well, the number one resolution mentioned in the source is wanting to spend more time with friends and family.
Which sounds great.
It does, but the dialogue suggests it's also a bit funny or maybe sad. Because, as they point out, we are a society that is always on the go.
Constantly busy.
Constantly busy, often working hard to provide goods and services that, the source suggests, are usually unnecessary. So there's this huge tension, isn't there, between what we say we want connection and the demands of our actual lives.
Let's break down New Year's resolution itself. Seems simple, but
It's essentially a promise to yourself to do something better, to change something in the new year. It signifies that idea of a fresh start.
and the verb is to resolve.
Right. To resolve means to decide firmly, to promise yourself with strong commitment. It implies intention even if follow-through is hard.
And the source mentions goods and services. Basic economic terms, but in this context.
Sure. Goods are tangible things. Food, clothes, phones. Services are actions people do for you. Doctor visits, haircuts, tech support.
Okay.
But the phrase unnecessary goods and services here really points towards consumer culture, the idea that maybe we're chasing things that keep us busy but don't fulfill deeper needs.
Which ties into being on the go. That
Yeah.
phrase seems critical.
It really does. On the go just means always moving, always busy.
Yeah.
It paints a picture of constant activity, commuting, errands, even eating on the go.
Like grabbing lunch at your desk or in the car.
Exactly. It's very common, especially in some cultures, that feeling of never having time to just stop.
Yeah.
And that pace makes sticking to resolutions incredibly hard.
Which brings us to the phrase, stick to them.
Right. To stick to your resolution or your goals means to keep doing it, not give up, persevere.
Like sticking to a diet or a workout plan.
Precisely. It implies discipline against obstacles, which, as we know with resolutions, are plentiful.
And then there's that evocative phrase for failed intentions. Gathering dust.
Oh, that's a great visual, isn't it? Gathering dust means something isn't being used. It's just sitting there and neglected.
Like that gym bag in the corner after February 1st.
Exactly. Or an old hobby kit or books you meant to read. It vividly portrays intentions that just sit there, unfulfilled. It really hits home.
So here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The way our sources link this busy, on-the-go lifestyle directly to why we often fail at resolutions.
It's not just lack of willpower, maybe.
Right. The eating on the go, the constant busyness, it resonates.
Yep.
So what does this mean for you, the listener?
Well, it suggests recognizing the challenges aren't just personal failings. Maybe they're partly societal.
Built into how we live.
Perhaps. And the subtle suggestion might be that resolving isn't just about making the promise, but about actively carving out time, protecting it.
Like actually scheduling that family dinner once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Making it non-negotiable.
Exactly. It's about being intentional in a world that pulls you constantly towards reaction.
Okay, finally, let's unpack a scenario that's maybe less philosophical but very relatable.
Yeah.
The clothing emergency.
Sudden panic. Yes.
Our source material throws us right in. Someone has accidentally spilled beer all over my wife's dress,
Oh, no.
and they need it, plus a suit. Dry cleaned ASAP.
Oh,
Why? There's a wedding tomorrow.
wow. Talk about pressure. And what's interesting is how the language instantly shifts, right? From reflection on holidays and goals to just Pure practical urgency.
Fix this now.
Exactly. And it shines a light on the specialized world of clothing care and the specific words we use when dealing with these messes. It's like a mini drama in vocabulary.
So first stop for that beer-soaked dress, the dry cleaner. What is dry cleaning, really?
Good question. It's a professional process using chemical solvents, not water, and special machines. It's for delicate items or things with hard-to-remove stains.
Stuff you definitely can't just chuck in the washing machine.
Right. And the place you take it is called the dry cleaners, or just the dry cleaner. It's a specific solution for a specific kind of problem.
And that beer caused a stain. How flexible is that word?
Stain is super flexible. It's a mark or color that doesn't come off easily. You can have a stain, that's the noun. Your shirt can be stained, the adjective, or you can stain your pants, the verb.
Covers all the bases for those annoying marks.
Pretty much. Reflects how often it happens.
And how did the stain get there? Someone spilled the beer.
Right. To spill is that action accidentally letting liquid fall out of its container, making a mess. It implies it wasn't on purpose, usually a bit chaotic.
That oops moment.
Exactly. I spilled milk. He spilled his coffee. Or in this case, beer on a dress. That immediate sinking feeling.
Well, after cleaning, especially for something formal like a suit or dress, you often need it ironed.
To iron means using that hot metal thing, the iron, to make fabric flat, smooth out wrinkles and lines.
Get that crisp look. Some people find it relaxing, others hate it.
It's true. The source even mentions using a spritzer, like a little water spray, to help.
And for some things, like shirt collars, maybe they use starch.
Yes, starch is that powder or chemical spray used to make fabric stiff, hard, gives collars and cuffs that sharp, structured look.
And the chemical itself is also called starch.
Correct. You can ask the dry cleaner, do you want starch or light starch, please?
When the crisis is averted, like maybe the dry cleaner says, yes, we can do it. You might exclaim, thank God.
Ah, yeah. Thank God. It's such a common expression of relief or happiness.
Well, not necessarily religious,
Right? Usually in everyday use, no. It just conveys strong gratitude or relief that something good happened or a problem is solved. Oh, thank God I found my keys. Pure relief.
And emotional release.
Totally.
And in this clothing emergency, they needed it done ASA. We hear that a lot.
We do. ASP. ASAP stands for as soon as possible, means very quickly, immediately.
Super urgent.
Extremely urgent, very common in work emails. Need this report ASAP. But as the source shows, it pops up in personal crises too. It basically means drop everything.
And finally, the dry cleaner might promise it by the end of the week. What does that time frame mean?
By the end of week, day, month, years is really useful. It marks the deadline, the latest point in that period. By the end of the week usually means by Friday close of business or maybe Saturday, depending on their hours.
Sets a clear expectation.
Exactly.
So wrapping this section up, what's the takeaway for you, the listener? It's more than just vocabulary, right?
Definitely. It's about seeing how language helps us navigate these moments of crisis, how we ask for and get specific fixes for life's messes, big or small.
And we even get those little details like different feelings about ironing or tips like using a spritzer. It's the texture of everyday problem solving.
Precisely. So today, we've really taken a deep dive into these everyday chats, from holiday gift stress
Call it the panic.
to New Year's resolutions, the hopes and the cynicism.
And those sudden dry cleaning emergencies.
Yeah, and we've seen how they're packed with these valuable insights, linguistically, culturally, understanding phrases like on the go or when it comes down to it.
Or even suck at.
Or even suck at. It gives you a much deeper grasp, not just of the words, but of the underlying currents shaping how we talk to each other.
Exactly. It's not just definitions, it's how words are used to show urgency or agreement or that self-deprecating humor.
Building rapport.
Right. Or signaling those subtle social rules about taste, about expectations. So as you go about your week, maybe just keep an ear open.
Yeah.
You might be surprised what you hear just beneath the surface of ordinary conversation. And maybe consider this thought to take with you. In a world that so often feels always on the go, where maybe our good intentions or gym bags end up gathering dust and finding that perfect gift can seem impossible. How might consciously choosing to stick to even one small resolution or just taking the time for one genuinely thoughtful gesture, how might that subtly shift the rhythm of your life? Maybe make a little more space for what actually matters and perhaps ease some of that everyday background anxiety.